right, passage 5. And folks, this passage is my favorite on this English exam. The syntax is beautifully laid out. The diction is rich. I just geek out when I read it. Here we go. Extremophiles, amazing microbial survivors. Some live in airless seams of burning rock, miles beneath Earth's surface and around the hydrothermal vents of deep-sea volcanoes. Now, we do not need this punctuation here. It's not joining two sentences. It's not introducing a list. It's just interrupting the flow. So it should just be C. Others, salt encrusted, sleep in ancient caverns, comma, waking after centuries to feed and to breed. We have a participle here. Which of the following would not be acceptable? Then they wake would make it a new sentence, so that's okay. And then wake makes a parallel sleep and then wake, so we've got present tense verbs. That works. Comma, only to wake. That would work. It's an infinitive phrase. Caverns period, waking after. Okay, so that would make the statement after the period a fragment. So J will not be acceptable. And then here, to feed and to breed, we need parallel structures. And we have two infinitive phrases. We need to make them the same tense. So 63 is C. Radioactive pools of toxic waste are okay for others to live in. That seems very informal, very elementary phrasing for this piece. Even acid cannot kill them. Okay, so, and we're going to need a semicolon or a comma and a conjunction here. So H is your best choice. Are home to still others. That's a little more formal. And you have your semicolon because you're starting a new sentence. Even acid cannot kill them. In lightless vacuums and locales, once thought too hot, too cold, or too poisonous to sustain life, there exists a wealth of microbial organisms. Now the TO here is a homonym error. We need the adverb TOO, which means in excess or also. Here we need in excess. We do need items in a series, so commas to set these off. Too hot, comma, too cold, comma, or too poisonous. We do not need a comma after that, so B is your best answer. These single-celled survivors, called extremophiles, don't merely endure environments too severe for other life forms, they thrive in them. So let's take a look up here. We do have a participle phrase called extremophiles, and we have a comma to the right of it, but not to the left. So G is your appropriate answer here. Which of the following to the underlined portion would not be acceptable? We have a semicolon because we have two sentences. So C would work, period, they. Now D would not work because you just have a run-on. Semicolon, rather they, you just have a transition here, but you still have two sentences, so A would work. And guys, I do not like B at all. It's not a great option. We don't use dashes to join sentences, but the short, somewhat emphatic nature of they thrive in them could be like this exclamatory response in a sense. They thrive in them, and it could be set off with a dash. I don't like this answer, but considering the content that it provides at the end of the sentence, it works better than D. Heat-loving extremophiles or thermophiles flourished in temperatures over 150 degrees Celsius? Well, we need a present tense because we have they thrive. This is a present tense piece. So verb tense consistency would indicate J is your best answer. Scientists have collected them from the Yellowstone National Park's thermal pools, the park abounding with geysers like Old Faithful, and from radioactive rock deep within South African gold mines. This is really wordy. So I don't like A. Thermal pools in contrast to the cool depths. We don't need a comparison there. That is going to distract us. I would just go with pools here. I know some of you would have chosen A, but it really is verbose. And D works much more concisely here, considering the information that is given is not necessary. In the hot water surrounding Juan de Fuca Ridge in the Pacific Ocean, thermophiles ensure the survival of other marine life. The writer is considering deleting the following phrase. Should this phrase be kept or deleted? I feel like it should be kept. It's about to transition into the other marine life. So kept, why? Because it clarifies that they live, because it provides specific details about the here referred to in the next sentence. Yes, it does this better, the G part. You'll notice I did look ahead to identify where we were going, because this is a topic sentence for what remains. And that is a trick when they're asking you whether you should keep that topic sentence. You need to jump ahead and read at least the next sentence or two in the paragraph. Here, the ocean floor is scarred by earthquakes and underwater volcanoes. Given that all are true, which one most specifically and vividly means imagery, describes the underwater terrain? I feel like scarred is pretty vivid. Signs of, we're not specific with signs. That's not vivid. Yeah. A, no change is the most vivid answer there. Poisonous waters from cracks at temperatures up to gush in the ocean floor. Thermophiles convert the toxic chemicals into food for crabs, giant worms, and other deep sea life. The best placement for from cracks, I would put it after gush. Poisonous waters at gush from cracks, so J. And this is a misplaced modifier question, so it goes under clarity or under usage. Actually, I don't know that it would be under usage. I'd probably put it under either clarity or under convention sentence structure. And again, ACT doesn't ask you to tell it what type of question it is. I'm just trying to make you aware. Psychrophiles live in harsh and inhospitable places on our planet. One ancient breed of psychrophile lives in million-year-old ice miles below an Antarctica glacier. I read ahead because I believe this is going to ask me whether to keep it or change it. I'm just going to read the next paragraph. In the ice of the South Pole, psychrophiles survive not only darkness and sub-zero temperatures, but also ultraviolet radiation. All right. Given that all are true, which one would least effectively introduce the subject of paragraph 4? Ugh. Well, it's about psychrophiles surviving in these overly chilled environments. I like A, so that one works. According to researchers, the environment of a cold-loving extremophile or as extreme, I like this one too. And now I'm going back to look at the A option. This doesn't really talk about how cold it is. And B does. Look at C. Certain extremophiles thrive in cold. That one does. Other types of extremophiles, cold loving. Yeah, so B, C, and D all talk about the cold and A does not. So I go back and change my answer to A. It's least effective in introducing. If life can persist in extreme environments on Earth, scientists speculate that life may endure under similar conditions elsewhere, perhaps in the frozen seas or the exploding volcanoes of Jupiter's moons, or beneath the barren landscape of Mars. The writer is considering deleting the following clause if life can persist from the preceding sentence. Should this clause be kept or deleted? Okay, I feel like it should be kept because it's making a connection about if we can live, if the psychrophiles and thermophiles can live, then we can attach it to other arenas, maybe super dry climates. So I would keep it. And then why? It clarifies for readers that life in extreme environments may not, what? May not? No. Because it makes a connection between life on Earth and the, yes, G. Nevertheless, that's odd. Findings suggest that life, at least on the microbial level, may flourish. We need something to emphasize what we have learned above. On the other hand, does not do that. However, does not do that. Indeed does. It emphasizes indeed. Findings do suggest. So D is your best answer. Woohoo! We are done.